Welcome, kings and queens, to another episode of Unapologetic, your number one podcast. This is the show where kings and queens tell their legacies and on. So get ready for the gems to drop and pull up to the table because we're ready.
Cool to follow Donald Trump.
And you said there's a lot of them.
Yes, but what they don't realize is we're on the brink right now of losing our democracy because of him and his followers. If we lose our democracy, we will then go into another war. He believes in making war, and this is what this is all about. You have to realize that a whole lot of pale, stale males are going to be inducted into the military and sent to kill people of color. We've done it before, we'll do it again. And that's what he has in his head. What he has in his head is bad for the United States of America. And if it's bad for the United States of America, it's bad for the world.
Dang, that's deep. And how you put it makes so much sense, especially for, me watching the news, reading articles, seeing all the oh my God, his trial cases of 88 different felonies, and it's crazy.
Yes, and yesterday in the Supreme Court, when they talked about immunity, presidential immunity, the four sane women, and I'm surprised that Coney Barrett is one of the sane ones, but the four sane women said, if this happens, we could be in a situation, couldn't we be in a situation where he could kill at will? And the five men acted like, well, what's wrong with that? Let me tell you what's wrong with that. We've been through this before. We've gone into wars and sent our beautiful young males to die. And many of them did. It's time to put a stop to that. Donald Trump has never gone to war. He has never been in the military. He doesn't have to. He can send young men, and he will send mostly what we call black men to fight the next war. He has this thing all set up in his head, and he doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't have the skills to do what he's trying to do. And people have to be aware that they're being led through a really, really ugly hole in the wall.
Wow.
And you're not going to like what's on the other side of
it. I see that myself. And I also seen it in your exercises that I've watched on YouTube and whatnot, the brown eyes and blue eyes exercise. Now I watched it with children when you did it with children, and I also watched it with adults. Now I did my own research to try to compare the two, and it's almost like
they're the same.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're the same.
Yeah.
The same. And if you hadn't, there's an author who has written several books about the three child, parent, and adults mental stages. And when you start that exercise with adults, you turn them into children. They go into their child ego state almost immediately, because the power structure, the woman who's paid to do this, is standing up there saying those things, and you're paid to be there, so you'll go along to get along. That's all that makes that's what makes racism work. You go along to get along, even though you know it's wrong. You go along because you had 12 years of education in this country, which means you've had 12 years of indoctrination. Racist indoctrination. Make no mistake about that. When you go to school in the morning and you have to say the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag, Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. When I was a child, until the age of 18, I said the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag without the words "under God" in it. Dwight Eisenhower, Dwight Eisenhower was he was the members of a Catholic servicemen's group, got their congressmen to agree to put the words "under God" into the Pledge of Allegiance to the American flag. That was in, I think, 1953. They don't belong there. Oh. In 1953, we still had separation of church and state. They put the words "under God" into the pledge where they don't belong. We need to take that out of there. We need to take it out. And the next year or two later, They put the words "In God We Trust" on our money.
Yep, yep.
Yeah. When I was 15, I was going home from school. I went to the restaurant to meet my dad, who was going to take me home. We lived 4.5 miles from town. And I walked into the restaurant, and there in the restaurant was a sign on the wall, and it said, "In God We Trust, all others pay cash." And I started to laugh. My dad said, "What are you laughing at?" Yes, "In God We Trust, all others pay cash." I started to
Wow.
laugh. My dad said, "What are you laughing at?" And I said, "Look at that sign." And he looked at it and he said, "Well, my God, that's right." And he laughed all the way to the car. Now, I think that I think we should take the words "In God We Trust" off our money. And if we don't take it off, then everybody has to take a pen and write under "In God We Trust, all others pay cash."
Mm,
Yeah. Now
wow.
nobody's going, don't do it because it's against the law. However, it ought to be against the law to have the words "In God We Trust" on our money.
Exactly.
They don't belong there.
Because you're combining state and yeah, yep.
That's right. You're bringing religion into the state, and we have no business doing that. And if you think we do, then you need to read the book, The Power Worshippers. Have you read The Power Worshippers?
No, I have not.
Oh my God, read this book, and then you'll understand what is happening in this country today. It is an absolute description of the idiocy that happens when you allow the church to enter into the statehood. This is just the most amazing book I have ever read. Oh, here, look at here. Here's what the power reppers say. There, I have so much gratitude about the people who are leading our country. Brewer ad-libs. Brewer is one of the people who is Brewster, who
Okay.
is joining into "Let's bring a religion into schools." To know that if you look at a dollar bill and it says "In God We Trust," that we are so firmly getting back to that. You see, they are using those words on the dollar bill to reinforce the idea that it's all right to bring religion into the classroom. Right now, we are in danger of having the three R's be reading, writing, and religion.
Mm.
This,
So
this we cannot afford.
and for you to bring that up, I'm starting to connect it with oh my God, Florida's CRT ordeal.
Yeah, let's talk about CRT.
Oh man.
CRT means CRT means critical race theory. It is only to be taught at the college level in the law department.
Mm.
That's what CRT is constructed to do. For me, CRT means curriculum respecting truth.
I like that one better.
Yeah, right. So the next time somebody says to you, "What about CRT?" you say, "Curriculum respecting truth." I'm all for that. I'm
I'm
not
gonna
for
take note
critical
of that
race
one.
theory. Critical curriculum respecting truth, because there's only one race. You don't
Right.
need critical race theory. There's only one race of human being on the face of the earth, and that's the Homo sapiens. You and I are members of the same race because there's only one, and we
Mm.
only come in one color, and that's brown, shades of brown. And there are about 150 shades of brown. But there are no white people, and there are no black people, and there are no red people, and there are no yellow people. Those are all color words that people came up with before they knew any better. We know better now. It's
Right.
time to give it up. I just You've probably lost a lot of viewers now already, but I'm not sorry.
I
I
love
am
it.
so well. And another thing, in this country, we say love is the most important thing in this country. Let me tell you something. I have asked groups to do this. We're going to start a new group, a new government, a new country. And in
Okay.
this country, I'm going to guarantee you either love or justice.
Okay.
If I guarantee you love, you might not get justice. If I guarantee you justice, you might not get love. Now
Mm.
I'm going to let you vote. I'm going to let you vote on whether you get love or justice. Now, which would you rather be guaranteed?
Justice.
Damn right you would. Yes, you would, and so would
Justice.
I, and so would any thinking person prefer to be offered justice and
Yeah.
provided justice and guaranteed justice. If you have a just society, you might end up with a loving society. But if you don't have a just society, you aren't going to end up loving one another.
Right, because I see, and you see in history and just nowadays, people get beat and say, "Oh, I love you. This is me loving you," and that's not
Yeah,
that's not love.
My mother used to tattle on us when my dad came in from work. My mother would say something we had done, so he'd line us up. We were stair steps, five of us. He'd line us up, get a switch off the lilac bush, and come in and start switching us. And my mother would say to us, "He's doing this because he loves you." And I'd think, "Could you love us a little less?" I didn't ever say it because I didn't want to get it any worse. But I knew that he was doing it because my mother couldn't control us.
Mm.
So she made him the evil person.
The
She didn't
disciplinary.
have to.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. So she made him the power and the thing we should fear. And so for years we did fear him. And then it came to us suddenly that, wait a minute, he wasn't the problem. Our behaviors were the problem, and her responses to them were the problem. And if we had changed our behaviors, she wouldn't have gotten as much attention.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
It's this love business is something. If you say you love me, forget about it, because we use love so many ways and to do so many ugly things because we say we love you.
Right.
We good Christians have killed a lot of people in the name of love.
Ooh, that is a powerful statement. Oh my God. Yeah.
Look, yeah, you don't want to you don't want to practice what that love that's in the Bible too much in the United States of America. It is not going to get you ahead. It
No.
may make you lose your head, because right now, oh my God, if you think I'm wrong about that, then you have to read this one. White evangelical racism.
Oh, I think I've heard you state that book in one of the episodes I've
Read it.
seen.
Read
That,
it. Get
oh
this book.
wow.
The woman's name is Anthea Butler, and
Okay.
she describes exactly what is going on. She's a dark brown woman. She's a melanaceous woman who knows exactly what she's talking about, and it is terrifying when you
Hmm.
realize she wrote this one, and then this Catherine Stewart wrote The Power Worshippers, and the two of them are just absolutely, they ought to be textbooks in high school classes, because they are the facts that are in them are so amazing and so frightening.
Hmm. And that goes with a quote that I've heard you say on NBC News, and you said, "If I was black, they would have killed me a long time ago."
Yeah,
And
yeah, I
that,
know. Yeah, I know. Yeah, the only thing that keeps me alive, is if they kill me. And when I go on a college campus, when I used to go on a college campus, there are always those three little boys with the red caps on that say "Make America Great Again,"
yeah,
MAGA.
yeah,
Well,
MAGA.
that means what it means. MAGA stands for Make Americans Grovel Again.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow.
And number one, we ought to stop calling this country America. America is everything from the northernmost point of Canada to the southernmost point of South America. The people who live in all those countries are Americans. We
Mm.
ought to call this country what it is, the United States of America. And that stands for the 48 contiguous states, Alaska, Hawaii, and the islands off the southeastern coast of the United States. Those constitute the United States of America. And the most important word in that title is united.
Mm.
Donosaurus T. Rump is trying to divide us. And he's people's fears to divide us. And that's how he's gotten where he is. We have to stop calling this America and say, in the United States of America. And if that's too many syllables for you, then you say US, because those two letters, US, spell us.
Mm. I
And
like
that
that.
stands for the United States of America. We've got to start referring to this country in that way. It's absolutely essential that we, number one, we've got to change our vocabulary. We're using the vocabulary of the 1500s when we talk about white and black. Let's get rid of that. We're using that vocabulary when we talk about race. Let's get rid of that. There's only one. Let's get rid of calling this country America and call it the United States of America. There are ways to solve this problem, but what was your original question? I've forgotten.
You answered it in detail. I love it.